Hey, Vegan Cupid here. Just like I am going live to answer your questions and drop some truth bombs. So I want to see who's here today. So drop me an emoji and in the comments and tell me if you've been married before. If you're not sure why I'm asking, you'll probably find out soon enough. Okay, and can everyone hear me? So if you're watching live, please leave me a comment and let me know that everything is good, please. So if you have any questions, as always, you can pop them in the comments and I will check them out. You will see something on the video description that says authorize a StreamYard. You only have to do it once. It just takes a second. And it just so that when you are watching live and you're commenting, I can see who you are, okay? Because if you don't do that, it just says Facebook user, all right? And you just have to do it once, okay? So you don't need to do it every week. So quick intro about me. And I'm gonna do a quick intro every time because something kind of funny happened in the group just today, actually. They're in the thread where I talk about share something that seems totally untrue but is totally true. And then I posted, oh, my boyfriend and I got like these matching tattoos. And then someone replied and said, so you're not single and you're in this group? And I just laughed so much. So that tells me that there's some of you in my group that don't know who I am, okay? So I'm gonna keep doing a quick intro at the beginning of each video. So bear with me if you're watching and you already know who I am, okay? That's why I'm doing this. So I'm Karen, also known as Vegan Cupid. I am a matchmaker and a coach. I love people, I love animals, and I love love. I've been helping vegan singles for over 9 years find love. And I have a network of over 20,000 plus veg singles across USA and Canada. I am a relationship builder and a people connector. I work with many different types of professionals, okay? I work with entrepreneurs, professors, doctors, therapists, a lot of software developers, believe it or not, and engineers, just to name a few. And my clients range between the ages of mid-20s to all the way up to mid-50s. And the thing that connects all of my clients, more than just being interested in finding vegan love, is that they are committed to finding deep, lasting love. They are committed to making a significant investment in themselves, and they are ready to take ownership of their future, okay? So that's what everyone, they all have in common. So every Thursday, I go live from this group with a different topic every week, and I do this to, address people's, things that are on their minds and just be here as a resource. So if you have any topic suggestions, I would love to hear them, okay? Natalia says, I was married for 20 years. Wow. That's a really long time. Yeah, I'm gonna go into my own personal journey, but at any point, if you're watching live or whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, share your thoughts with me, please, okay? All right, so today's topic is love after divorce. So this might be a pretty sensitive topic for some of you with lots of mixed feelings and emotions. And, to be honest, like when I was preparing for this, a lot of things came up because I'll share my story, but, I have gone through divorce. And so it was hard. So I'm really being like totally open and honest and vulnerable with all of you because I want everyone to, really understand that I get where you're coming from, okay? So again, I totally understand where you're coming from. I've been there, I've done that. And I really believe that it's only if you've actually been through a divorce. And when I say divorce, I also mean, if you were in a relationship with someone for 20 years, but you weren't married, the same thing, okay? So I'm just gonna use the word divorce for ease of to make it easier. And it also includes, and somebody posted asking a question saying, does this apply to widowers as well? And yes, okay, it's basically applies to anyone who has been, spent a really, good chunk of their lives with someone and is starting a new chapter. Okay. So, many of us dream of getting married. I know I did, right? Everyone has like a different dream of what they want their wedding day to be like. Some people don't really believe in marriage, and that's okay, right? So I was with my ex-husband for 5 years before we got engaged, and I was like itching to get married because that's I just wanted I that was really important to me. And so he proposed on his birthday. Yeah. We were living in California at the time. He got down on one knee and he gave me his grandma's ring. And it was the sweetest thing ever. And I'll never forget it. The pure feeling of like joy and happiness. We ended up getting married a couple of months later. So we had a very short engagement. We had a small outdoor wedding surrounded by redwood trees. Again, this was in the San Francisco Bay Area. We had our reception at like the world-renowned Millennium restaurant. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's like one of the top vegan restaurants in the world. And we had an amazing amazing food and wine, the best wedding cake ever. Like, yes, it was all completely vegan. And we had some amazing adventures together. We lived in various cities. We did 4 cross-country tours, road trips, back and forth from California to Canada. We did that all with the dogs that we had at the time. And, I would love to hear, your story and know if like something similar has happened to you, if you've gone through a divorce and what it's been like. And remember that whatever you post in here stays within the group, and that the group is set to private. So your friends and family will not see what you're posting. Okay. And that's why I do it this way. I want it to be a safe space to really talk about, what you're feeling. Okay. So basically, what happened with my ex-husband and I is, and I don't think I mentioned it, but we were together for 15 years. Okay. 15 years. I was pretty young when I met him. I was like 21, I think, or 22. So as we got older, we became different people who wanted different things, and we grew apart. And that happens to a lot of people. I've heard this, I've heard them saying that. And we did the whole couples therapy thing because I really believe in therapy. I really believe in coaching. And he finally, agreed after me asking him for many years. And unfortunately, it was too late for us because I had already disconnected myself emotionally by that point. And, I made the hardest decision of my life. I decided to leave him, and so that I could start a new chapter in my life. And of course I had doubts. I totally doubted myself. I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing. I was really, really scared. I had never lived on my own before because the first time I moved out of my parents' house was with him. So I had never lived on my own. I was a business owner, right? Without a secure income. We all know when you're a business owner, nothing is secure. And I had 2 dogs to take care of by myself. And one was really old and had a lot of medical issues. And it was literally like taking care of a baby. She required lots of my care and attention. But I made the decision because I wasn't happy anymore. And I wanted to feel a powerful connection with someone who shared my new life goals. And don't get me wrong, my ex-husband and I, we did share a very powerful connection at the beginning, but that connection kind of like fizzled away. And so I wanted that passion again that had been missing for so long. And most importantly, I wanted to feel deeply loved again, like so many people do. And so I'd love to hear like what's been the hardest decision in your life? Again, if you're watching live or the replay, like post this and let me know and tell me what's been the hardest decision for you. Okay. So, once I was all settled into my new apartment, downtown, I had never lived downtown before. I experienced a huge weight being lifted off my shoulders. And I knew then that I made the right decision. And I started to feel happy again. And this is exactly what it means to let go. And believe it or not, we continued, my ex-husband and I, we continued being business partners even after we were separated and divorced. And yes, you heard me right. Find Veg Love was created by my ex-husband and I. So I have shared this, a while ago, but there's a lot of new members in the group. So probably not many people know that. But yeah, we started the business together, and that was like one of the things that kind of was the icing on the cake. Working and living with someone and being with someone, it was just like it was too much for us. So so while I was going through a crazy hard time in my life, like when you get married, you never imagine that you're going to end up getting divorced, right? When you get married, it's because you think you're going to be spending the rest of your life with this person. And so here I am, living on my own, going through a really hard time. And my job was to bring vegan singles together. Yeah. So back in that day, I was doing the veg speed dating events across US and Canada. And so if that's not dedication, I don't know what is. So, in the end, he ended up taking a full-time job with the government, a very high-paying job. He was tired of hustling. He wanted to just have, a regular job where he would get, a much better income than what we were making. So I bought him out of the company, and I became the sole owner. And I've been self-employed for like over 10 years now. So I've had other businesses in the past, but this was this was a year of a first for me. First time living on my own ever, first time running a nationwide company on my own, and my first time doing online dating. Just a whole other conversation. Let's just see here. Kristen says the hardest decision was that I was afraid of breaking up with them because I thought it would be a mistake. Yeah. I mean, I experienced the same thing. I didn't know if I was making the right decision, but it was like that huge sense of, relief and huge weight being lifted off my shoulders, and experiencing the feeling that I hadn't, experienced in so long, and like actually being happy again. So yeah. So what are some of your firsts for you that have happened in the last year? I mean, I know it's like the first time that we've all gone through COVID. So that's a pretty big thing, I gotta say. But in terms of relationships, so leave me a comment and let me know. I'm interested to hear. And so, my ex and I went through some pretty rough times, and I struggled. Like, I'm going to be honest, I struggled, and I did things that, that I'm not proud of. But we both came to terms with the situation, and we both decided to forgive each other for, the way that we had acted and what we did. And I could have easily been resentful, bitter, depressed. But when I was ready, like that's when I decided to let go of everything and not hold on to the shame and guilt, which I could have easily done. And I loved being in a relationship, and I knew that I wanted to find love again. I'm a total relationship person, like through the good times and the bad times. And I wanted to share life again with my second love, with another amazing partner. And I knew that it was 100% my mindset that led me to my current partner, who I've now been with for over 2 years. And, with my new partner, don't get me wrong, it hasn't always been rainbows and butterflies, because we all know that relationships are not fairy tales, right? And I'd be lying if I said that I never had doubts about our future together. But I can honestly say that, 2 years into the relationship, we have created something really deep. And, we both have full of intention of spending the rest of our lives together. And that's a beautiful thing. But, we formed that deep connection through also going through some rough patches together, having a lot of arguments, getting to know each other, but really putting in a lot of time and effort to, that is required to build that kind of, deep relationship that you share with someone, right? And so why am I sharing my story with you? Because I really, really want to inspire you to believe that finding love after a divorce or breakup, after being widowed, is totally attainable. And I've had a few calls lately with people who have gone through divorces, and unfortunately, they have not been able to move past them. But it's not that they don't deserve to move past them. Everyone is deserving of love and having a deep peace of mind so that you can move on. And, had I not been able to move forward and let go of what happened with my ex-husband, my world being completely, turned upside down, and all the uncertainty and all the crap, like, I would have never met my current partner, who is totally amazing, and I love our life together. And he also went through some shit. Like, his first wife unfortunately passed away from cancer, and that was really hard for him. But he's also a relationship person just like I am, and he wanted more. He wanted to share life with someone again, so he got married a second time. And they were married for 7 years, had 2 beautiful daughters. And unfortunately, she ended up cheating on him with his friend. And so he could have been totally bitter and jaded and resentful and hated women and all kinds of stuff. But just like me, he knew that there was, his life was not, his love story was not over. There was still plenty of time to start over again with somebody else, right? And I really believe that it's our mindset that brought us together. And, I want everyone to experience this kind of deep, lasting love, because to me, that's what life is all about. And I know I'm grateful that my divorce was amicable. Not everyone's is. And, I'll share something funny. I actually have a memory of my ex-husband and I being at the courthouse together, filing the paperwork for our divorce. And, there was a long wait. And so we were sitting down together having a business meeting while filing, papers for our divorce. So yeah. So that tells you, what kind of, relationship that we had. But, with that being said, it was still extremely stressful on the both of us, totally life-changing and scary. But after we had come to terms with the fact that it was the right decision, it made things a bit easier. And I knew that I always still wanted to be friends with him. I shared 15 years of my life with him, and I still care very much about him, and it's totally platonic. And I understand that that's something that not everyone can do. But for me, my parents got divorced when I was 11. And, after a couple of years of, when they both got over everything, they, they were always, they remained friends until this day. They are still friends. They both have other significant others. And my mom and my dad have been there together celebrating all the birthdays, all the Christmases, all the special occasions, like as one big family. So that's kind of like how I grew up. I grew up with my mom and my dad being divorced, having other significant others, but still being able to be in each other's presence and hanging out. And like my mom and my dad and their partners, they hang out like without my sister and I there. So it's really magical, right? So, you know, so I really wanted that for my ex-husband and I. And one time I actually convinced him to attend a veg speed dating event that I was hosting because, you know, I had moved on. I really wanted him to move on as well. So I wanted him to give it a shot. So that was really interesting. And then at that event, my boyfriend, he was there, and we all had dinner together, like with my ex-husband and my boyfriend. And yeah, to me, it was just like normal, you know, so we hang out and yeah. So I know some of you may think it's totally weird, but again, like that's how I grew up, right? So and so recently I spoke with a woman who who booked a call, a Cupid call, and she said she had watched a few of my videos and my messaging really resonated with her because she said that she's done a lot of mindset work. And the truth is that the deep inner work never stops. That's the secret, okay? It is an ongoing process, which is sometimes really uncomfortable, and it can creep up on you when you least expect it, okay? So we talked about the importance of investing in yourself, in your future, by doing the deep inner work, right? And when I talk about doing the deep inner work, I'm talking about reflecting on things and trying to figure out why it is that you feel a certain way or why you did something. And my own deep inner work involved a lot of trying to figure out like why my marriage fell apart, why I said some of the things I did, why I did some of the things that I did. And that was hard. That was really, really hard. And, you know, after a lot of reflecting, you know, I realized that I did and said those things because I was totally unhappy. My needs weren't being met and I didn't feel secure. And I would be lying if I said that at the time I didn't feel an immense amount of guilt for leaving my husband, because he didn't want me to leave, and that made it all that harder. But after doing the deep inner work, I realized that I was putting myself first, and it was extremely empowering. And I showed myself that I could live, survive, and not just that, but even thrive without him. So back to my phone call that I started telling you about. She told me that she was feeling stuck, that she had a fear of loss and getting hurt, and she went through some really deep emotional trauma. She was married for 20 years. They split over 10 years ago, but they only legally divorced about 2 years ago. He was her everything, the only family that she had. They went through some pretty heavy stuff together. He got sick and almost died. And they had a great marriage, but things started falling apart. You know, they are still friends, and she has a lot of respect for him. But towards the end of the conversation, because of my questions, she came to the realization that she wasn't over her ex, and he set the bar really high. And she told me that she doesn't think that she can ever find that kind of love again. She said that she wants to start a new chapter in her life. She wants to find that love again with another man. And I told her that she wouldn't be able to do this until she got closure, and that she had to let him go. And I told her that's why module number 1 in my program is letting go, where we explore what that truly means, and not just the words of let go of it. It's a deep process that needs support, guidance, and true commitment to clear the things that are blocking you. And I love that I get the opportunity to be there for my clients. And I shared with her that I would be there for her every step of the way, helping her to let go so that she could move on with her life, just like I had done. She said that she was ready to start the journey. She gave herself permission. She gave an enthusiastic yes to herself and to me. She knew the investment, but more importantly, she knew the cost of what it meant to not invest in herself. She was ready to go, but then something happened. There was a shift in her energy, and I could tell she was beginning to fear getting out of her own way. She decided to just stay in the database after all and not go after what she wanted most of all. And I feel for her. I really do. I know that it is hard to make a commitment to yourself. And I know that it is doubly hard when someone feels like she isn't worth investing in herself. Okay? I'll say that again. It's really hard when someone feels like they are not worth investing in themselves. Okay? So really think about that and try to think about what that means for you. Okay? Because yes, it's an investment in yourself to find veg love. And that's because of the deep work, the deep support, and the total transformation that occurs when my clients go all in. Right? I know that's pretty deep. And I gently explained to her that knowing what I know now about her situation, I didn't feel comfortable recommending her to my matchmaking clients because she still is working through her anguish. And while I know that many times it takes years to get over things, to let go, I know that I could help her do this in weeks but because my program is tested, it is effective and it works. I've seen it. I've seen the transformation that my clients go through. And I know she was not happy and she felt triggered. And I have compassion for her because I know what it feels like. When you are in pain and in denial, hearing someone be completely honest with you can be hard. But that's what I'm here for. I take a no bullshit approach, okay? Yes, I am very supportive, but I am also here to hold up a mirror up to yourself so you can find veg love and be completely happy in your future, okay? So am I mad that happened? No, I'm just really sad that she didn't give herself permission. And I see this time and time again with people that I talk to. They haven't given themselves permission. And, we are not alone on the journey. Sometimes there are signs right in front of us. And sometimes all we need is a little help to get there, which is what I do. And I also get help from others when I need it. Like I said before, I totally believe in therapy and coaching. I have a number of coaches that I work with on a regular basis because, again, the healing, the learning, the growing, it never stops. So it has not been easy. It is not easy, but it is so rewarding. And letting go is hard. But I promise you that the journey is worth it. And if I hadn't given myself permission to let go of my ex-husband, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like there's no question about that. I'm happy as ever with my love, living out in the country, something I never thought in a million years I would end up doing. Living 10 minutes away from the lake, and I wouldn't have the two stepdaughters that I now have. And so if you've gone through divorce, what has life been like for you post-divorce? Leave a comment and tell me, okay? So Natalia says, hardest thing was staying in the marriage and not having the courage to leave. He was the one who eventually ended it. And after the shock wore off, I felt a big relief. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage. I know that I needed so much courage, right? It was really, really hard. And, you know, I got courage by going to couples therapy, right? We first went together, and then I started seeing the therapist on my own. And she's actually the one who helped me come to terms with the fact that the marriage was over, you know, that I had tried everything that I could. I really gave it my best effort. I thought that by going to therapy, it would help me stay, but it actually helped me, you know, realize, you know, what the right decision was. So yeah, therapy was like really, really instrumental to me. Also, talking to other people that had gone through divorce. I had this amazing woman, Tess, who had gone through 2 divorces, and she really, really helped me. So again, it's like, if you're going through a divorce right now, you know, talk to someone. It makes such a big difference. Jessica says, I had an 8-year emotionally abusive relationship with a narcissist, so it was basically like a divorce when it ended. Yeah, that's hard, and it's a really, really hard thing to recover from. And I never quite realized how common it actually is, you know, the whole narcissist thing. I went to a matchmaking conference a couple of years ago, actually, and there was a doctor there who specialized, that was her specialty, was narcissism. And I learned so much about it. So, and Jessica says, I had the same experience with couples therapy. Okay, I'm going to break for 2 seconds because my dog is outside right now and he's like dying to come in. I hear him barking, so 1 second. Sure. Come say hi. Tashi likes to make an appearance every once in a while. This is Tashi. He's from Bakersfield, California. I love this guy so, so much. Okay, gotta keep working, Tashi. So Jessica, you had the same experience with couples therapy that you went, and was that what helped you come to the realization that like you had to end it? I'm interested to know if that's actually like a pattern with people, that's usually what ends up happening. Yes, Tashi's pretty adorable. And by the way, Tashi is Tibetan. It's a Tibetan word, and it means good fortune. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, awesome. Thanks for sharing, Jessica. All right. Okay. So back to business here. Yes, I have notes to keep me on my toes here, because it's a lot to remember to talk about, and I don't memorize things. Okay, so I got all my notes. All right, so yeah, so if you're watching live or you're watching the replay, I want to know what it's been like for you to go through a divorce. Okay, what it's been like post divorce, because everyone has a different a different experience. So, getting myself back in the dating game, doing the whole online dating thing, oh, it was hard. I had never done the online dating thing because I had met my ex-husband on this like underground group message board thing. Online dating was not a thing back then. So, I have lots of stories to share with you about online dating, but let's keep that for another time. And I'm sure you all have many stories because I've heard lots of stories. But, all that to say that there is a way to write the next chapter in your love story. And if you want to find out how you can do that, like, let's chat, okay? I've opened up some space in my calendar for action takers, the people who have decided that they are sick of repeating the same patterns over and over again, you know, and compromising themselves. And the ones who can support, you know, who can accept, support, and love to find their love, right? Not everyone believes in therapy and coaching. So if you don't believe in that, then you're not a right fit, right? That's just how it is. So, you know, if you are sick of struggling and doing it all alone, or worse, you know, you're getting the wrong kind of advice to do superficial things, just like put yourself out there, or having that meddling aunt who just wants to introduce you to someone, you know, you're not going to like, you know. And during our Cupid call, I can guarantee you, I will listen to you deeply, and you'll have some pretty major aha moments. And if we discover that there is an opportunity to help you find veg love, and it's mutually agreed upon that you want my help, I'll make you an offer. But I don't work with just anyone, and I won't make you an offer if you're not ready. Okay? It's not that I don't want to help everyone, because I do, but you have to be ultra committed and ready for love. So if you want to uncover your patterns and blocks and learn more about exactly what you'll have to do to find veg love, book a call. I will leave a comment with my calendar link. It's also in the video description, okay? And if you're not ready to explore, that's up to you. In the meantime, you can get in the Veg Love Vault if you're not already. And the Veg Love Vault is my database where I seek matches for my matchmaking clients. And if you want to learn more about it, you can check out findveglove.com/database. That link is also in the video description, okay? But, you know, I know there's some of you out there right now who are thinking that they are ready, and you're feeling the pull toward finding your love, not out of desperation, but out of wanting something more meaningful. You want that partner. You want to share the small day-to-day stuff with someone, you know, someone to fall asleep with every night, someone to wake up to every morning. And life is short. Life is really short. And don't block yourself from living your dream, okay? So before you go, again, if you're watching live, you're watching the replay, or you're watching a watch party, okay? Drop in the comments something that you commit to letting go of. Write it here. This is your promise to yourself. And if you want to know how to start the next chapter, then book a call, okay? So we have a few more minutes, so I'm happy to answer some questions. So Jessica says, saw the therapist individually and she was like, are you happy? Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what happened to me too. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Jessica. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's like when you talk to the right person and then they ask you the right questions and you're like, oh shit. And that's what I do on my Cupid calls. I ask a lot of deep questions, a lot. And sometimes it's uncomfortable for people, but that's what it takes, right? I kind of like assess where people are at, assess if they do make a great fit for my program or not, because my program is not for everyone and I don't work with everyone, right? So, all right, well, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any vegan single friends who could also benefit from these videos, please add them to the group. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions, let me know, okay? I personally read all of your comments. I reply to all of your comments, and I love interacting with all of you, okay? I am there for you. So stay safe, stay healthy, and we will chat next week. Bye.